I knew the moment I woke up that something was wrong. Not because of the cold metal floor beneath my back, or the soft hum of an alien power grid overhead, or even the pale violet light washing across a ceiling that definitely hadn't existed in my bedroom last night.
No.
Something was wrong because my journal wasn't in my pocket. My hand patted down my flight jacket. Empty. My pulse sped up. The last thing I remembered was writing in it before bed. Every mission log, every observation, every unfiltered opinion I wasn't supposed to officially record. Every suspicion about the beings humanity had only just begun calling the visitors. And now I was on their ship. I sat up slowly. My head didn't hurt, which told me they hadn't done this violently. A transparent wall curved away, showing a vast starfield outside. We were in orbit. Earth was a marble below. I whispered, "Oh no." A door rippled open without sound. She stepped through. She looked human. Mostly. Tall, slender, skin the color of moonlit porcelain. Hair like flowing silver threads. Her eyes were enormous, dark, and luminous, like polished obsidian catching starlight. She wore a simple white garment that shimmered faintly, as if woven from light. She smiled. It was a warm smile. Too warm.
Too knowing.
And then she spoke in perfect English. "You left your journal open." I froze. Every survival instinct screamed at once. "Don't speak. Don't move. Don't confirm anything." My throat went dry. She lifted a small object in her hand. My journal. The black leather cover. The frayed edge I'd taped twice. The little metal clasp I always forgot to close. She stepped closer and sat gracefully on a bench across from me. No guards. No restraints. No threat in her posture. That made it worse. "I am called Lyra," she said gently. "You are Commander Ethan Hale, Human Expeditionary Observer, assigned to Diplomatic Contact Team." I said nothing. Her eyes softened. "Your species does not yet understand how transparent your minds become when you write what you truly believe. We do not need to read thoughts when your own hands reveal them." I swallowed hard. "How much did you read?" She glanced down at the journal. "Enough." My heart sank, because in those pages I hadn't been kind. I had written about how humanity feared them, how we didn't trust their sudden arrival, how we worried they might be here to harvest resources or manipulate our governments. I had speculated about invasion scenarios, weaknesses, defensive options. If they read that, I forced myself to speak. "If you brought me here to punish me, just do it. Don't pretend this is polite." Lyra tilted her head. "Punish you? Why would we punish you for being honest? Because honesty about killing you isn't exactly friendly." Her lips curved again.
Ah.
"You misunderstand." She opened the journal and flipped pages slowly, as though savoring a memory. "You wrote that humans are terrified of the unknown, that you are violent when cornered, that you fear we will control you. And yet, you also wrote that humanity's greatest trait is persistence, that when you fall, you rebuild, that you believe your species deserves a future among the stars." She looked up. "Do you believe those things?" I hesitated, then nodded once. "Yes." "Then we agree." That caught me off guard. "You agree?" "We have watched your world for a very long time," Lyra said. "You are young, reckless, dangerous, and brilliant. You create beauty and destruction in equal measure. We came to decide whether your species should be invited into the greater community or quietly prevented from spreading beyond your cradle." My blood went cold. "And—" She closed the journal and set it beside her. "Your writings accelerated our decision." I exhaled slowly. "So, I talked us into extinction."
Great.
Lyra laughed softly. You truly think so little of yourself? Given history, yes. She leaned forward, eyes shining. Ethan Hale, humanity is unlike any species we have encountered. When you fear, you fight harder. When you fail, you adapt. When you face impossible odds, you produce miracles. She gestured toward the stars outside. Most civilizations that reach your level choose comfort. They stagnate. They fade. You do not. Even your stories are filled with heroes who defy hopelessness. I stared. Are you complimenting us? Yes. I blinked several times. Then why abduct me? Because, she said, tapping the journal lightly, your unfiltered thoughts gave us the clearest view of humanity's soul. But we needed to know if the writer matched the words. A panel in the floor glowed softly. A projection appeared. Earth's surface. Cities. Oceans. Satellites. Defense grids. Missile silos. You understand your species' strengths and weaknesses, she said. We need someone like you to speak for humanity. Not your politicians. Not your generals. Someone who sees truth without illusion. I shook my head. I'm just an observer. I don't represent Earth. You represent its conscience, she said. Silence hung heavy. Then I asked the question that mattered most. What happens if I say no? Lyra's expression grew serious. Then we leave. And we mark your world as unready. It will remain isolated, vulnerable, alone, for a very long time. My chest tightened. She continued, but if you say yes, we will offer humanity guidance, knowledge, protection from threats beyond your imagination, and a path to join us among the stars. I laughed bitterly. So, I'm holding Earth's future hostage in my pajamas. Precisely. I rubbed my face. This is insane. Most pivotal moments are. I looked down at my journal. All my private fears, all my doubts, somehow turned into a cosmic job interview. I met her gaze. If I agree, what do you want me to say to my species? Tell them the truth, Lyra said. Tell them they're being watched by the universe now, that their actions will echo beyond their world, that they must choose what kind of civilization they wish to become. I thought of Earth, its wars, its corruption, its cruelty, but also its compassion, its laughter, its stubborn hope. I took a slow breath. I'll do it, I said. Lyra's smile returned, radiant this time. Genuine. Then welcome, Ethan Hale. Humanity has passed its first trial. A soft light enveloped me. My vision blurred. The next thing I knew, I was lying in my own bed. Morning sunlight streamed through the curtains. My heart raced. Had it been a dream? On my desk sat my journal. Closed. Neatly. On top of it rested a single silver feather-shaped object. I touched it. A voice echoed in my mind. We're listening. 3 days later, the world changed. Every satellite feed, every broadcast channel, every phone screen on Earth flickered to life with the same message, spoken in every language simultaneously. A symbol appeared. A simple circle of starlight. And then Lyra's voice. Children of Earth, we greet you. You are not alone. Your species has been judged. You have been found worthy of a chance. Governments panicked. Militaries scrambled. Religious leaders prayed. Scientists cried. And I stood in a secure communications room, surrounded by terrified officials, speaking into a camera that transmitted to the entire planet. My name is Commander Ethan Hale, I said. I was taken aboard an alien vessel. I have spoken with them, and I am here to tell you the truth. I told them everything. The offer, the stakes, the warning, that humanity's next century would decide whether we rose or fell. When the broadcast ended, I felt hollow. But outside the window, I saw something extraordinary. People on the streets looking up together. Not in fear, in wonder. For the first time in human history, every border, every flag, every argument seemed suddenly small compared to the stars above. Weeks passed. The aliens did not invade. They did not conquer. They waited. And humanity did something it had never done before. It united. Scientists from rival nations shared research freely. Wars slowed. Energy grids merged. A global council formed. Not perfect, not peaceful, but moving in the right direction. One night, I sat alone with my journal open again. I wrote, "We are still flawed, still dangerous, still human, but maybe that's what makes us special. We fall, we rise, and now the universe knows our name." A familiar voice whispered behind me, "You left your journal open again." I turned. Lyra stood there, smiling. And this time I smiled back. The silver feather dissolved into light in my palm. Not heat, not energy. Something gentler, like a promise being fulfilled. Lyra stepped fully into the room this time. No shimmering doorway. No distortion. She simply was, standing beside my desk as if she had always belonged there. My heart raced, but I no longer felt afraid. Not after everything that had happened these last months. Earth had changed. Not overnight. Not perfectly. But undeniably. Borders still existed. Arguments still raged. Humanity hadn't become enlightened saints in a season. But the wars had slowed. The nuclear arsenals were being dismantled. Nations shared sky monitoring systems. The first unified orbital station was under construction, bearing a name chosen by global vote. The Dawnbreaker, a declaration that humanity intended to meet the universe on its own terms. Lyra walked to the window. City lights glittered below like constellations mirrored on the ground. "They are progressing faster than we predicted," she said quietly. I leaned against the desk. "We're good at sprinting when the cliff edge is in sight." Her lips curved. "That is what fascinates us most about your species. You advance not because you are safe, but because you are afraid." "Fear built our first fires," I said. "Now it's building starships." Lyra turned toward me, her dark eyes reflecting the city lights. "The council has reached its final verdict." My stomach tightened. Even after everything, those words carried weight. And she bowed her head slightly. Not subservient. Ceremonial. Humanity has been accepted. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Accepted. Not tolerated. Not observed. Not delayed. Accepted. My voice came out rough. "So what happens now?" "The gates will open," Lyra said. "In time, you will receive knowledge, navigation charts, protection treaties, technological seeds. But we will not uplift you. You must climb by your own will. That is the condition." I smiled faintly. "You're afraid of what we'd become if you did it for us." Her answering smile was almost proud. "Yes." Silence settled between us. Comfortable. Earned. I looked at my journal still open on the desk. The ink on the last line had dried. "We fall. We rise. And now the universe knows our name." "Ironic," I said. "All this happened because I forgot to close a notebook." Lyra's eyes gleamed with amusement. Small doors often lead to great futures. She lifted her hand. A star map formed in the air between us. Spiraling galaxies, glowing paths, countless lights. "Your species has stepped onto the first path," she said. "Someday, humans will stand among us as equals." Some fear that day. Others welcome it. But it will come. I stared at the endless sea of stars. So, what am I now? I asked. Ambassador? Prophet? Cosmic accident? Lyra tilted her head. You are simply the first witness. The one who listened when the universe whispered. A faint chime echoed. Lyra's form began to shimmer. I will not remain, she said. My presence here would influence your path. We do not wish to become your gods, only your neighbors. Will I see you again? I asked. Yes, she said. When your kind steps beyond your cradle in truth, when a human vessel crosses into the greater lanes, I will be there to greet you. Her image faded, but her final words lingered like starlight. Until then, Commander Ethan Hale, do not leave your journal open. Years later, I stood aboard the completed Dawnbreaker station. Below me, Earth turned in blue-white serenity. Above me, the void waited. The first human-built interstellar prototype drifted in its dock, sleek, shining, and perfect. Beautiful. A young engineer approached, breathless.
Sir.
They're ready for launch sequence. I nodded, and as the engines ignited, a low tremor passed through the station. The ship slipped forward, slow at first, then faster, until it vanished into the dark between stars. Humanity's first true step into the galaxy. Not invited as children, not guided as pets, but walking forward on its own legs. I opened my journal one last time and wrote, We were afraid. We still are. But fear never stopped us before. The universe opened a door. We chose to walk through. I closed the journal,
Locked it.
and smiled. Because somewhere beyond the dark, an alien girl was probably smiling too.